Vaigu Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaigu Ji Ki Fateh. Gianna Sangaji, welcome to the Breakfast Show. So as you know, week on week, I see you always try God there to bring some inspirational guests. This week we have the S.W.A.T Youth Club that are here. They came on, I think, probably about a year ago. We're going to get an update from them regarding their current projects, but also what they've been doing since the last time that they came on, and Jere in on their upcoming projects so for the future, and to find out how we can get our Bihari Sangat to get involved if you're looking to do some seva. So let me go over and introduce them. Vaigu Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaigu Ji Ki Fateh. If I could start with you, just a little bit of an introduction, your name, and a little bit about what you do.
I'm Riddhi Kaur, and I'm a clinical psychologist. I specialise in autism, but I also work a lot with these cases like grooming and etc. like on a daily basis. It's not too much I don't work with them because my main area is autism. So yeah. Okay,
and Benji, the CV.
Hi, my name's Priya, and I'm a volunteer at the S.W.A.T Youth Club. I got involved because my children go there, and then they were looking out for volunteers, so I spend a lot of time there now and help like with the other children and the youth as well.
And yourself, Baji?
Yeah, my name's Bal Singh, and I'm a volunteer for Nishkam S.W.A.T, for the youth club and for our homeless projects.
Baji, if I could start with really, you mentioned about the youth clubs, but a lot of people that are watching, may not be clear on what the youth club, what it includes, what it involves, what it's all about. If you want to really start off with telling me a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. So currently we've got 3 youth clubs at the moment. We've got Southall, we've got Slough, and we've got Leicester. Okay, and what we have kids coming in a range of ages of 10 to 16-year-olds, boys and girls. And main objective of having a youth club is we basically safeguard the kids from dangers of society outside, which is drugs, alcohol abuse, cyberbullying, and grooming, which is a major issue in our community at the moment. So we safeguard kids on those areas, and at the same time we teach them about Sikhi, and to make it fun for the kids we have activities going on as well. Our monthly plan is basically we have in a 4-week month we do a Sikhi talk and a non-Sikhi talk. And then the other 2 weeks we do activities. So we're not going too much into Sikhi and we're not walking away from there. So whatever talk we do, we bring it back into line to who we are, what our roots are, what our gurus have taught us. Okay. So that's the main objective of the youth club.
And in terms of since the last time that you came on, because I think it's been about a year or longer, talk to me a little bit about what's been going on since then. What have you been up to? I mean, obviously I've got lots of questions here that I'm going to go through, but just give us a little bit of a brief.
So with the youth club, we obviously had South run first. Then we had Leicester opened up, and after that we had Slough. In total, we've got about 250 children that come to our youth club, and we're actually looking for more kids to join in because we're looking to establish in other areas. So what we also do is not only safeguarding the children, we also try and get them to come and do like a public talk within the kids. So it's just giving a bit of confidence how to talk to each other, rapport building, and getting the kids to basically have a conversation. Because when kids come in, we've got kids that just come from a normal background, we've got other kids that have been bullied, some kids have been groomed, and a lot of kids are shy, they don't really open up. And this is a very good tool for them to open up and obviously to make friends as well. So as they say, following good sangat, you become a better person.
Yeah.
So.
And Priya, could I ask you really, how did you hear about S.W.A.T and get involved? Could you talk to me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I got involved with S.W.A.T. My son had just started secondary school, and he was going through a bit of a bad patch as soon as he started secondary school. He had lots of different friends from different backgrounds, and he'd come home and he'd be saying words that were completely alien to our language that I didn't understand, and I was thinking, how do you know these words? Why are you saying them? And his behaviour changed. He became a bit offish with me. He wouldn't talk to me, or he'd back chat me, give me like the wrong answers. If I told him off, he didn't listen. He didn't care about anything. It was just about him and his friends. One day he came home and he said to me that my friends are telling me, let's hang around at our place of worship. It's going to be so much fun. Like, they want me to go there and play there. Then I started getting worried because I'm a single parent with 2 boys. we don't have a lot of family. I just have one brother and my mum, and because of his behaviour, he was going completely off track. I was just speaking to someone at work one day, and he gave me one of the volunteers, Haj, his number, and he said, you need to speak to this guy. So I went home, I phoned Haj, we had a long conversation on the phone, and it was really upsetting, really emotional. I was in tears on the phone to Haj. I just didn't know where to go, what to do, who do I speak to. I had no support, no one to turn to. So he said to me, bring your son down. We run a youth club where he can meet other children. Mm-hmm. We play games, we sit down, we talk, we will help him. Don't think that, we're this organisation where we just, we're there to like watch your children. We're like, we sit there, we'll help you, we support you, we're your family. So I took both the boys on a Friday, because the Southall Youth Club runs on Fridays, 6:30 to 8:30. So took the boys, and Haj wasn't there that day, but Baal was. And he said to me, are you the girl with the son, the teenage son? I said, yeah. And he goes like, make yourself at home, let the kids play. Like, he spoke to the kids on a friend basis, one-to-one. It wasn't an adult speaking down to a child, it was just friends. Hi, how are you? What's your name? My name's Baal. Settled in, they made friends, they've got a pool table, PS4, different games to do. So we started going every week, and then Haj came and he'd sit down and he goes, don't worry, I'll take him to the side, we'll talk about what he's doing, how he's feeling, what's going on at school. This started happening over like the weeks that we went. Slowly they started making friends. They'd like want to go. If I was at work tied up one week or we didn't want to go, they'd be like, Mum, are we going youth club today, can we please go? They became that involved and interested. Then it was coming up to the summer months where they do a summer camp. Sikhi camp.
Okay.
Sikhi camp. That was run in Hayes Gurdwara for a whole week, and they went there. They loved it, loved every single minute. Hart said to me that your kids will become the sangat that they hang around with. So if they're in the bad sangat, they will become like that. If they're in the sangat, the right sangat, that is what they will become.
True.
My son now, touch wood, he's completely changed. His attitude has improved. They talk more about Sikhi. They've learnt so much.
Amazing.
We knew the basics of Sikhi, but I wouldn't sit there and I can't tell them a lot because I don't know much myself.
And in
I
terms
also think that it was important for her to notice the small things that were wrong in the child, and then she could act upon them, because some parents, they don't even act upon it, or they don't even like latch on to the fact that there is a problem going on with their children. And I think raising that awareness in itself is a very big thing.
Definitely.
And sharing it with someone, whether you share it with a stranger or a stranger as in they shared it with all of them.
Yeah.
It's very, very important, because sometimes you can easily share it with someone you don't know. And I just think that.
And I'd like to ask Priya quickly, how long is that time frame of where your son was behaving the way he was? How long did it take for him to then change to this person that now? I'd like to know what the time frame is.
We've been attending there just under a year, because this summer will be the second Sikhi camp that they'll be attending. So we had just started when they went to the first Sikhi camp.
That's amazing.
So it's just under a year.
And that just shows, like, for our Sangat that are watching as well, I'd like to say as well, Sangat ji, for thade bacche vi jehde hege, if you have any issues or anything that you might be concerned about, just like Priya got in touch, please do get in touch with S.W.A.T Youth Club. We're going to be giving their details later on in the show, but I think it's so important, like you've taken your child there, to see that transformation. For me to even listen to this story is amazing in itself. So that's brilliant to hear about the work that you're doing. But yeah, Bob, what would you like to say?
Carrying for what Priya said about her son. So the transformation from where her son was, following a different path, and to where he is today. So this child didn't know Punjabi properly, didn't know his culture. Now he's doing Mool Mantar, he's Naam jumping at the moment. He's interested in other aspects of Sikhi. He's taking it a bit more further, and he's always coming in, asking questions, the right questions, always doing his own research. And also, I just spoke to him, was it yesterday? And he's actually looking to grow his gears now as well.
Wow.
So he's got his own journey, and it's a very good journey. So
And the fact that he's planning it himself,
exactly,
it shows like a lot of self-growth
Yeah.
and development.
exactly. So at the youth club, what we do is we plant the seed, and we say, look, this is the basics. This is what grown-up DFG have taught us, and then they go and do their research. And like I said, every month we have a Sikhi talk. And again, we just plant the seed. We don't go too much into it,
Yeah.
because what happens is what we've seen is if you go too much, they walk away.
Yeah.
So you got to and the
Balance.
relationship you got with the child, it's not like you have to be their friend. They have to they have to respect you as a friendship level.
And you have to
they
build
can
a
trust you more.
trust. Yeah, I think trust is key. You have to build that amount of trust with the child that they can share stuff with you.
Yeah, definitely. Could you talk to me a little bit about, as you said, you have the Sikhi talk. Could you tell us maybe, and again for our Sangat that are watching that may be looking to send their children, who were the talks done by? Could you go into detail with who it is? Because I think that's just good to know.
Yeah, so what we do is we get Basic of Sikhi, everyone knows, so they come in once a month to do a talk. So we'll talk on gurus, we'll talk on Gurpur, the Panch Pyare and so on. So they start with basic,
Okay.
then they go a bit more in depth, and then what they do, they engage with the children as well. And if they've got any questions, they're the go-to person for Sikhi related. So any talks we have, Sikhi or non-Sikhi, we have external guests coming in for the kids. We have the right people coming in as well. It's not just anyone who we think knows about Sikhi. We have the right people coming in.
And in terms of the youth club, so we talked about the Southall one, but again, I just want to be really clear for our Sangat, because you've got I've seen lots of on social media, lots of youth clubs, lots of things happening.
Yeah.
Could you go through where they run, what days, where
Sure.
all of that, if you could go through
Definitely. So Southall Youth Club is based in Southall Broadway, Ramguri Hall.
that.
Timings are 6:30 to 8:30 every Fridays.
Okay.
And S.W.A.T is run on a Saturday, 6 till 8, and that's in Singh Sabha Sports Hall, Stoke Poges.
Okay.
You'll find all our information on our social media.
Yeah.
So we'll give the details during,
Yeah,
the,
we'll
during,
give
during the
that
show. And you've got a Leicester one as well, which
Okay.
runs on a Friday, 6:30 to 8:30.
And that is where in Leicester?
Gypsy Lane, Godora.
Okay.
Yeah.
Age group,
Age group, boys and girls, 10 to 16 year olds.
Okay.
And what we tend to do also is once they become 16, we try to give responsibility to the older kids. What we're trying to do is bring them in to become a volunteer. So they know what it's like to be a student. Now they're going to be a volunteer. So they know both sides of the world.
Okay.
So yes, so 10 to 16 year olds.
And
Can I also say,
Yeah.
it's just not the youth club that they can attend. We run a football club as well, where my son is at the moment.
Okay.
That's every Saturday morning in Hayes. At
what
the
times?
Garib Nawaj. That's from
10 to 11:30.
Yeah, 10 to 11:30.
And again, the age group's similar to
5 to 16 year olds,
5 to
boys
16.
and girls.
Boys and
Okay.
girls.
And just touching base a bit more on the football academy. So we've got a qualified football coach who's experienced for 21 years.
Okay.
And we've got our own volunteers on site. All volunteers for Nishkam Youth, we are DBS checked.
Yeah.
So we're checked before we can be part of the team. So we've got the football running at the moment on Saturdays, 10 to 11:30. We are starting a new project, which is a cricket academy,
Okay.
which is going to be held in Singh Sabha Sports Hall. The very first day of launch is Saturday 2nd.
In Slough.
In Slough.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Saturday 2nd of June. It's going to be between 4 and 5 o'clock.
Okay.
We will be posting this information on our social media as first come, first served basis.
Okay. And I want you to talk to me a little bit more about stories, if you don't mind. Like, some, not personally giving names or anything, but just a bit more of the success stories of, why the youth club is so important. Because S.W.A.T, I remember started, like S.W.A.T in itself was probably 2008, and I might be wrong in that, but I remember they have grown massively,
That's
right? and even from the time of when I remember the youth club.
Yeah.
There's a big journey there, a lot going on, and I just want to make sure that in this next hour, you know, that for our Sangat, we get the details across to them so that anybody watching that may be concerned about their children can come forward and get in touch or bring their children to the youth club. So if you could talk to me a little bit about success stories would be great.
Success stories. So, for example, Priya's son is a prime example. Yeah. Okay, so we've had another child. He's a Monna, okay, and he had no connection to Sikhi whatsoever. And just by coming to the youth club, again with the same method, planting the seed, let the child educate himself, and any support he requires come to us. Slowly, he started to again do his Chopi Sahib Bar, started Simran, wakes up early in the morning, and he started tying a dastar. And he's got a son. He's got a brother who's probably 12 years old.
Okay.
And by looking at his older brother now, and he started tying a dastar as well. And in his family, no one had any connection to Sikhi whatsoever. And I said, so tell me a bit more about your world. So when you go home now, he goes, I just feel proud. You know, my family feel proud that there's actually we've got a Sikh generation who just been started now. And he's talking to us like when he has kids, he wants his kids to try the star, teach them about Sikhi, be good people, get in the right sangat, and so on. So that's another successful story as well.
And Riddhi, in terms of your, like, I know you were saying you were doing a little bit of volunteering with S.W.A.T, but have you talked to me a little bit about your experience of the youth club? Why is it that you feel it's such an amazing thing that they offer for our viewers that are watching, so that they get that feeling?
Because I think these issues are very, they're increasing issues every day. I have dealt with these issues quite a lot, and it's sad to see them out there. It's not only with like one gender, it's actually with both. And it's just the way they help the children, they help them grow. And that's the amazing thing about the club.
And Priya, in terms of obviously your son, so there's been this like change in his behaviour and everything. What about his friend circle now at school? How is it that when he goes to school now, what's the situation there with those friends, and what?
In terms of his friend circle, I never said to him that you can't speak to this person, or you can't speak to that person. I've always said you can have friends as long as they're good people. It doesn't matter who your friends are. When this all started happening, then they started coming to the youth club. He made his own mind up. He realised himself, and he'd come home. Before he'd always be talking about them. My friend's this, my friend this.
Yeah.
He came back and he stopped talking to them, and I'd say, well, how is this person today? Like, you haven't spoken about him. He left them himself and made a new circle of friends. I didn't tell him to say, you can't hang around with this person, or I don't want you speaking to this person. This person's a bad person. He made his own decision and changed his own friend circle.
Raji, in terms of the volunteers for the youth club, that's obviously grown. You've probably got a lot more volunteers now. Tell me what it is that brings this, the biyard, the care, because there's something there. Clearly there's something there that children's lives are changing. They come, you can see with Priya the success story that you've just talked about. What is it about the volunteers that they have that's instilled in them?
Do you know what? It's just dedication. We don't see each other as volunteers, or we got to go and do this, or we got to go and do that. We look at seva. Okay, this is what our gurus have taught us. Okay, you do seva, you're helping someone who's in need. Okay, we look at each other as sisters, brothers. We're a family. We're not there as volunteers. We don't look at each other like that. So it's just seva, what our gurus have taught us. That's what it comes down to.
And with your story as well, I mean, I know that you came on before and you shared it, but obviously it's been a while since you've been on, and there could be new people watching. Could you touch on your story a little bit? Because I remember off air having this conversation with you where you were not really into Sikhi at all.
Cool, no.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
I think it was started around about 3-4 years ago now. Trim Singh, I think that's what they call him nowadays. Yeah. So
I saw the picture yesterday.
Oh really?
What a shame.
Oh, we should have that now. We'll have to get it. We will get that picture hopefully.
So not wearing the star really.
Yeah. A
cap, design, beard shape, styles and all sorts. And what that did was I attracted the wrong crowd. I attracted wrong people to come to me. Going to wrong places and whatnot, because they thought, oh, he typically looks like this. Okay, you get sucked into the wrong things. Okay. Journey, basically, even I don't know. It just happens over weeks, over months, and so on. And just, I think it just comes down to Guru Nanak Dev Ji's ethos, basically. Nam jumping, earn honest living, and do seva. That's the main foundation, which basically internally made me a better person. You know, I think positively. I feel better. I think that's what it comes down to. And then afterwards, the image comes.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people look at it, oh, you've got a long beard, you've got the star on your head, oh, you must be a good person. But don't get fooled by that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of that, it's not down to what you look like. It's what you are as a person inside you. So I think it's a mix of that. You know, going to the Gurdwara as well regularly. You know, trying to understand what you're listening to. Don't just go there and say, like, I spent 10 minutes here, take my prasad and I'm going now. Ask questions. Sikhi, we're learning. That's what we are.
Yeah.
So I think you have to ask a lot of questions. And in my journey, my Jagraj Singh, based with Sikhi, I learned a lot from him. He is one of the main inspirations for myself getting to Sikhi. And there's a lot of English kata out there now. They're basically from Gurumukhi, they transfer into Punjabi to English and put it back into Gurumukhi again in a very basic form. And there's a lot on YouTube at the moment. So I would, if you're out there and you're thinking, you know what, I'm on the fence with this one, there's a lot of material out there. It's all good stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a lot of self education.
Yeah.
And then just jumped into Seva, and that's really when it kicked off, because as we mentioned at the beginning, it's the sangat you mix with. If you mix with the right sangat, the good sangat, you become a good person.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
So we've got about 5 minutes before we go on break, and I want to obviously, again, for the Sangat that might just have joined, I want to touch on more of the activities in the youth club, the sports. So yeah, if you could just talk to me more about that.
So just the youth club alone, so I know we touched base on the safeguarding and we got talks and whatnot, so just on activities now. So in order to make it fun for the kids, we have a pool table, we have air hockey, we have a foosball. It's basically a football table with, on a football based on a table.
Okay.
And then you've got PS4. That we don't really get the PS4 out much. It's only when it's a good ball or if you've got a lot of kids turning up. We make it exciting for them, because at the end of the day, this is what we're trying to get them away from. Because all kids do these days is parents give them a gadget, iPad, phone, whatever, get on with it. I'm too busy in life. So we do have that, don't get me wrong, but in moderation.
Phones are banned.
Oh, that's good.
Yep.
Club. Phones are banned. No one's allowed to take their phone out.
Oh, it's really good.
Including volunteers.
Okay, that's really good.
So we want the kids to, the whole point of kids going there, not for us to babysit them, it's for them to introduce them to make friendship. Come to us with one issue. Really crack down on what is your issue. Put them into the right channels. So what the youth club there is, so not the activities draws them in. So we have the sports. So in regards to the sports, so we mentioned the football academy. So what we're looking for at the moment, we were looking for volunteers.
Okay.
And we're looking for more kids to join the football academy. We've had our first game this year, probably about a month ago, which was very successful. It was a very, very good turnout. And the football academy ranges from ages 5 to 16-year-olds. So we had an older lot playing. Now the next tournament we're going to do is for the younger age. So we get all ages playing in a tournament. And in the pipeline, we're looking to do a football tournament. So we get other organisations in so we can play.
Yeah. So we've got a couple of minutes for a break. I guess the message that I get from listening to you is that you need more volunteers, right?
Correct, volunteers and kids.
Yeah, so for our Piali Sangat that are watching, what would you like to say to them so that they come forward to get involved?
Join our social media, email us, okay?
If you want to give the details as well.
Yeah, I'll give it to you at the end, because I just got to get a flyer for you, because we just got a new we got a new social media platform now.
Right, okay.
So I'll get all the details for you later in the show. And so yeah, volunteers, please come down. You know, as an organisation, how big we are, you think we were everyone.
Yeah.
You know, we need doctors, we need someone who's good at IT, we need just general background helping out with like Nagar Kirtans, the stalls and so on. We don't know everything, so we could all the help we can get.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be regular.
Yeah.
It could be once a month, but please join in.
So we're going to go for a short break now, but obviously we've got you here for the second half hour as well to talk about a different topic. But I'd just like to say, Sasangaji, please do stay with us. We're going to go for a short break. But in the meanwhile, in that break, look them up on social media, get in touch now. There's no time like the present. And then please join us after the break where we have these fantastic volunteers back and we'll be talking about another topic that the S.W.A.T Youth Club are looking after. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome back, Sangaji, after that short break. I hope some of you have got in touch with S.W.A.T Youth Club to get involved in Seva, or maybe if ਤੁਸੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ to send ਸਾਡੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ to the youth club. I hope you have. We now have them here still with us to talk about a few of their upcoming projects ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, some of their newer projects, because there's lots going on. So we're going to find out from them what the new projects are, and as I always say, to bring our Pyari Sangat some Seva that maybe you might want to get involved in. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So on that note, you heard that little intro about new projects, and I know that there's lots going on. You know what, I can never keep up with social media. Brilliant organisations like yourself are doing so much great work, and obviously one of them that does obviously ring a bell is that voice project, but I know there's lots more. So I'll start, I'll go over to you, Baji, to see if you can tell us.
So what we're finding is we're having less parents bring their kids to like youth clubs or Gurdwaras where there's talks going on, or you know where they really need to hear things. We're seeing a decline of kids going there. So what we've done is, as we are a self-funded charity, we've actually raised money for a van. And what this van does is, it's all been branded, it's all been logoed up. It's called a Voice Project, and it's launched in Leicester. And our volunteers up in Leicester, our youth club, they're basically heading this project up. And what this is, we go to schools and we safeguard the kids there because they're all there. So rather than coming to us, we're going to the kids now. So not just schools, any other social places kids hang out, Mela, Nagar Kirtans. So we go there, we safeguard them. So when we started this project 2 weeks ago, we launched it at the Nagar Kirtan in Leicester. We actually got our first case while we were on the streets talking to the Sangat, and there was actually a child who was actually getting bullied. The parents basically said, look, we've tried every avenue, nothing we can do. So we've taken that child on board and safeguarding them, put them into the right channels. We had the Coventry Mela that just went about a week ago. Right. Again, we've had a few more referrals there, so it's definitely working. And on top of that, we've got a 24-hour helpline. So it's a voice project. All this information you can find on our social media. So Nishkam S.W.A.T Youth is where you find our Facebook and Instagram. So please go on that. Follow us. Any new information we put on, you know. So we had we safeguarded. With the first topic we picked on was grooming. The 6 stages of grooming. So that was all on there. So in a nutshell, especially to parents out there, what they need to look out for is if your child attitude is changing, you know, the personality is changing, the attitude changing when they come home, or they're on their laptop or their iPad, and then you're walking past, they switch it off, or you see changement in the behaviour. That's one sign.
I think also, sorry to interrupt, I think isolation is also a big sign. Because when and that may stem from the fact that they can't really express their feelings. Right. And so I think that's a very, very big sign. Like always staying up in your room. Yeah. So those are key signs to look out for.
I think you need to be really open with your children as well. They need to be able to trust you. They need to be able to come to you for anything. And just because a lot of parents think it's just with the girls that are affected, it's not just girls that are affected by grooming, boys as well, bullying, anything that's going on. Because I don't have a daughter, I have 2 sons, and this has happened to me. My son was being led down the wrong path by the wrong people. I think boys are even a bigger issue than girls, because boys tend to hide their feelings and they don't openly speak up, whereas girls, everyone's always looking out for girls, and boys are often like left in the background or forgotten. It's not just the girls that need looking after, it can happen to the boys as well. Yeah. You need to be open with your children. They need to be able to trust you, and you need to make them feel they can tell you anything. It's only because my son came to me and told me that he was being asked to go to other places of worship to hang around if he didn't have that trust with me, I would never have known. He would have started going. They would have made it fun for him. He would have slowly gone down that path, thinking, you know, this is much better. Because I think that with our Gurdwara, it's not really catered for children a lot. We have a lot of people there that it's mainly for auntiyan and bibiyan. My children have gone to the Gurdwara so many times, have been shouted at for making noise, for doing this, for not sitting quietly. Children don't do that. It's not in their nature. That's why I think youth club is so important for kids to come to, because they can sit down and talk to other adults that treat them like friends. They can come and ask questions, what they can't necessarily do at the Gurdwara.
Yeah.
Because Auntie G is not going to give you the answer. She's just going to tell you off and say, sit down, listen to the part. They don't understand the part. They come to the youth club and there's people there explaining every step of our history, every step of our journey. Before Vaisakhi, we had a talk on why do we celebrate Vaisakhi. Not a lot of children know that.
Right.
Not a lot of parents know why we celebrate Vaisakhi. So they sat down, they had a talk, and now they understand it. So youth club, come to the youth club, bring your children to the youth club, where they can sit down in a friendly environment, ask any question. No question is stupid, no question is wrong, no question is funny. They'll all be answered.
And I think they have the right to express like whatever's inside of them, and that is the main thing.
Yeah.
You have to have the freedom to express whatever you feel, and that's the first step to growth and development.
Yeah. And Baji, you were saying, sorry, a little bit going back to the Voice Project thing, but you know this issue of grooming, I mean, it's always been there, but you know, in the recent years, you can see there's a lot of activity going on where organisations like yourselves are helping to address those issues and for people to be able to come forward. Could you talk to me a little bit about that? Like, what's the situation now? How much of a serious issue is it really? Really?
It's actually getting worse. So grooming has been going for a long time now. You're looking back at what, 40, 50 years. The word grooming only came around when the police reinvestigated Rotherham, and from then they found out there's other towns, and you name it, it's happening everywhere. So we're based in West London, so we get involved with a lot of grooming cases. We get a lot of referrals coming to us. So there were grooming gangs, and the people who didn't know about grooming, they're doing it as well. It's that easy. You know, the parents out, we need to wake up a bit more. We need to look out for the signs. Okay, like I was saying to you before about the behavior change in the children. If your son or daughter comes home with a gadget or expensive item, or you know, you as a parent, it's just you guys who buy those sort of products for your kids. Why strange from outside? That's when your alarm bells will start ringing to find out a bit more, dig a bit more. Where did you get that from? If you don't earn money, so who's giving it to you? Which friend's giving it to you? You're a parent, you have all the right. But like Benji was saying, don't interrogate your child. Be their friend. Have a friendship relationship with your child, because once you have that connectivity, they'll open up to you. Because if you don't open up, the child doesn't open up to the parent, then who can they go to? They'll get love and care from outside, and that's when the predator latches on to the child. So what we explain to the kids at the youth club as well is, if you can't go to your parent, you go to your teacher. Okay, that's what they're there for at the end of the day. If you're scared that they might tell someone, and you're not too comfortable speaking to a teacher, come speak to us. Okay, we will listen to you. So that's what we're here for. So just going back onto the Voice Project. So that's live and kicking now.
Yeah.
Like I said, 24-hour helpline. Okay, on that side. And then outside that, we've got the new S.W.A.T Cricket Academy.
Okay.
So we're adding another sport onto the.
Sorry, on that.
Charity.
Sorry to interrupt you on that, because we covered that obviously last year. We did that cricket event.
That's right. Yeah.
So is this on the back of that, or is it something different? Tell me.
It's different to that.
Okay.
That was a charity event we did. We had different charity organisations who came all under one roof, and it was to do with the community basically.
Okay.
Everyone just basically having fun. So it's totally different to that one.
Okay.
So what we're doing now is it's going to be every Sunday.
Right.
To get kids train. Play cricket, but on a friendly level. It's not very competitive. It's to have fun, get fit. That's the main objective. Getting kids out of their rooms, out of the computers, and come and do physical support.
Okay.
Yeah. So once S.W.A.T goes live on the 10th of June, we will then start implementing this into Southall.
Right.
Once we get the details on the live date, it'll go on our social media.
Okay.
Again, that'll be on Nishkam SWAT Youth. That's on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
Outside that, we've got what else have we got? That's it really. Those 2 projects.
So you got the cricket one's a big one.
Yeah.
When you were saying what else have we got, I
Oh,
was
yes.
I was going to bring in a project there and say, you know, that off-air idea that we talked
That's
about.
it,
No,
yeah.
but
No, that one.
we're not sharing that yet, Sangaji. Watch your space.
So one of the I think I did forget about. It's come back to me now. Samagham.
Yes. Okay.
So
Talk to us
we're
about
running
that.
a youth Samagham. Okay, so we've got the youth doing the Simran. Okay, we've got a youth running it. And what that be, what we're trying to break, we're trying to break the mold that a lot of people think that the people who are sitting on stage in the darbar is basically an old man, Chitty Dari, the star. We're trying to break that. Anyone
Okay.
can do it. From a young age, we got to have kids sitting up there. Okay. So that'll be going on.
When is that
This is
Smargo?
on 2nd of June. It's a Saturday.
Timings and where will it be?
Starts at 12 o'clock till 9 o'clock.
Okay.
There'll be activities outside.
Yep.
There'll be all sorts of things going on, like beat the keeper. There'll be a gatka show. There'll be face painting, Mendi, which hopefully
Yeah.
you become do that for us.
You put me right on the spot
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. So there'll be that going on as well. It's look, we've got the Simran. You got the religious side going on
Yeah.
as well. But then we're gonna make it fun at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're actually raising money for a minibus.
Okay.
So where we got our kids at youth clubs, we want to go to, like for example, there's an art exhibition at Slough, Godora.
Yes.
Okay, we want to take the kids there.
Yeah.
At the moment, we can't, unless we get the parents to drop them, pick them up.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hard work. Okay, so we got a minibus for that reason. The football academy, if you're gonna play away, the cricket academy, and so on. And we take the kids to like museums, Sikhi related museums, educational things. So we're raising money for a minibus at the moment.
Okay.
There's that. So just going back to Samagham again, and what we're going to have as a finale, we're going to have the very first time in the UK is a laser show based on Dharamiki music.
Okay.
So it'll be a Sikhi laser show.
Amazing.
So it's the first time it's happening in the UK.
So there's lots happening.
There's loads happening. So please come down. It's free. It's a family event.
So Sangaji, don't forget Ajara Smargam Hega. It's next week. Put the date in your diary. No excuses. We want to see you all there, and because everybody wants to meet our Pyari Sangat, so you can come and say Fateh to us. Please to see Ayo, bring your children, spread the word to friends and family. And once again, if you could just give any other details really that on the Smargam that would be interesting for our Sangat to know in terms of activities. I know you said there's lots going on, but what other things are people going to benefit out of coming there?
Okay, so look, there'll be different stalls. We got other charities, like you got the Basic Sikhi. We've got the SWAT stall there. We're going to have the SWAT ambulance as well. There'll be other charity organisations that's going to turn up. So come and say hello to us. Get involved. So it's the best place to go and probably go and find out if you want to go and do Seva. You're going to have all the charities all under one roof, all in one ground. So just come and say hello to us. Come and get involved, basically. And it's about the youth.
Yeah.
You know. So it's just turn, yeah.
And Priya, I'd like to ask you really in terms of a little bit more on, you know, the youth club itself, you know, the Seva. Talk to me a little bit about Seva. Why do you do the Seva that you do? What is it that you feel you get out of it? Because I think, you know, as Baji was saying as well, Nam, Japna, Seva, Kirt Kamai, the 3 principles really that we should be following and adhering to as a Sikh. Talk to me about your experience of Seva.
I got involved in the Seva side because I saw the transformation in my child, and I just wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to help other children as well and other families that are going through this, because I know how isolating our community can be, and I didn't want anyone else to feel isolated. When we first started going to the youth club, everyone was so welcoming, all the children, all the volunteers. We've just become like one big family now. We don't look at each other as volunteers, we just look at each other as brothers and sisters. These are my brothers and my sisters. And the volunteers like Haj, he will phone after a couple of weeks if we haven't been, or if he hasn't seen my son, he'll say like, you know, I haven't caught up with you for a long time, I just wanted to find out how he's doing. So I wanted to put that back into the community as well, because we don't really get a chance to do Seva unless you go to the Gurdwara and help out, or maybe do a charity event here or there. So I thought this was a good way to help others as well, and find out exactly what happens and what we can do, and what goes on at the youth clubs.
And really, with your work, obviously, you know, you mentioned earlier on, you work with people that have autism.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what's the situation with that? Because that's another topic that we don't really get to really cover as much as what I'd like to on Seek Channel, because it's in our community as well.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think at the moment that's a growing concern, and a lot of like our upper near, they don't want to admit that their child has autism, so they look for every way to avoid the fact that their child has autism. If you see any signs of it,
Talk to us a little bit about that.
If you repeat stuff a lot, I think that's the first sign. Sometimes a child at the age of about 2 or 3 who doesn't talk at all, you should be saying a few words at that age, but if the child doesn't talk at all, that's another sign. If you're very aggressive, that could be another sign. So I think you've just got to spread the awareness. If you think your children are having these symptoms, then please get into contact with us.
Yeah.
I mean, we're always there to help.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Thank you. And Baji, I want you to go back to this voice project, yeah, because it's really important. You know, grooming is something that Seek Channel cover a lot of. You know, they're involved in covering this topic with many of the different organisations. But, you know, this is really important, I think, in terms of, you know, like grooming itself. People do have this thing where they think it's just girls, and you mentioned it as well, Benji, it's not just girls, it can be boys. But what about age groups? And generally, talk to us about that, you know, that in itself, because it can affect anyone.
We've had situations where, you know, girls getting groomed from the age of 11, and you know, that's when they're vulnerable as well. They don't know what's going on. So when you see parents saying, "Oh, it's fine, my son or daughter, they're on the PC, they're doing their homework, you know, it's not going to affect us, they don't go out," but just under 70% of grooming cases are happening online. So your child doesn't even need to leave the doorstep in order to get, you know, to get targeted, basically.
Yeah.
So, especially for the children listening to this, when you let's just take Facebook for example. You know, for someone like myself, I've got maybe 50, 60 or 100 friendships.
More than me.
Friends. All right, really. Some of these kids got up to 500.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Like
they don't
me.
know them. So what I'm trying to say is, if you don't know the person who's sitting on the other side of that photo, on the other side of that Facebook,
Yeah.
all right, delete them.
Yeah.
Because you don't know who they are. That could be a good-looking photograph of that
Yes.
person, but then the person behind can have wrong
Somebody
intentions.
else.
And that is mainly the case. So what they try to do is they try to find out cracks in your family. So for example, if you're a single parent, or if your dad drinks too much, or if your parents row too much, or if you're not getting enough attention at home, once they cling to something that they can get hold on to, they've got a crack in your family relationship,
Yeah.
they will try and get you away from them onto their side. So what they'll do is they'll form friendship. They will then give you gadgets to say, look, you can rely on me. And then what happens then they start talking about how, you know, it's wrong what you're doing at home, come over to us, we will look after you. So they'll form that
It's more
bond.
sort of the emotional.
Exactly, so the emotional attachment
Yeah.
comes involved. And when you're like, what, between 12 and 13-year-old, and you're looking the other side, that person cares for me, I'm not getting it at home, then you're slowly drifting into their arms, and their intentions are wrong. These predators know how to work the system. And and then what they do is, when it's too late, they get sucked into like sexual activities.
Yeah.
That's when it's way too late. So coming back to where parents say, look, they're upstairs in a home, it's not going to happen to us. It's only when it happens to them, when it's way too late, is when they start crying, look, help us. But there's loads of material on YouTube or social media about you know, case studies on how to safeguard your children. You know, we've got on ours the 6 stages of grooming. You know, there's other charities out there. So you really need to go to the Gurdwaras, because the Gurdwaras now are reaching out to the youth to come and do safeguarding talks. Because locally, when I say locally, I'm talking about Hounslow, Southall, Cranford, Heston. These are local areas, and our own daughters and our own sisters are getting, you know, attacked. They're all getting groomed local to us, under our noses. I just touch on one case. We had a call out to go to a hotel to try and see if we can stop her. But as we got there, we spoke to the family, so we're here now. So what's our next stage? Give her number or ask her to come up. We can talk to her. So you're wasting your time now. What's happened is the gang were 2 steps ahead of us.
Right.
So this area was Heathrow. So they had booked her sister into Gatwick.
Right.
Not the time we went, 4 hours before. So they diverted us somewhere else,
Yes.
but tried to get out of the country. So we rang the police, interviewed the child. Because she was an early child, she's over 18, and she was mentally fit, and a so-called friend on the other side was supporting her financially for a couple of days.
Right.
They had to let her go. But till date, she hasn't come back.
Really?
So that's one of the sad stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what about in terms of, you know, like protection? So I know we've talked about a lot of things here, but I want to get more into the protection side. So we've talked about the signs. What more can we do, can our Sangat do to help protect these kind of cases from even happening, which I know is probably going to be the impossible, I'm thinking, right? But
Yes.
but the impossible can make possible, right?
It
With
can be.
Vaiguji and Ardas, right?
Yeah.
What can we do as a community, as a parivar, as a family? There must be that, you know, Sikh channels worldwide, millions of people watching. One person does one thing, the other. But yes, there's got to be something that can be done to at least reduce the cases, or what do you think?
I think it's an element of different things, basically. So first thing is the whole community needs to get together. Okay, it's not just a parent's fault. It's not just the child's fault. It's about education. Okay, if you educate the parent that this is what's going on, and then they talk, you know, with love to the child and say that we're here for you, and the community needs to get together. We need to wake up. We need to look out for signs. So I think another thing with Sikhi, basically, we haven't got unity. You know, he's a different caste. Here's the star's different style. He's a Monna. He goes to a different Gurdwara. We need to put that behind us, because that's not what Sikhi teaches us. So once we can get the differences away, only then we can start working together. And we need to start protecting our daughters and sons, you know, at the end of the day, because that's what it's all about, because it's a community issue and education. So I urge all parents, take their children, go to these safeguarding lectures that happens around the country, and they happen at our Gurdwaras as well. Just go on social media, it's everywhere. It's happening, but we're not seeing many people turning up. Hence why the Voice Project's come along. So because we're not seeing many people go to the talks, so we've got to go to them. So something else we're doing here in London is we're looking to speak to a school based in Southall.
Okay.
And what we're doing is we're going to do an assembly to the whole school. So obviously there's some content you can't talk to about the younger kids. That'll be a bit more diluted, and then we talk to the older group range. And at the same time, we're going to do 2 parents' evening classes as well. So you probably get the grandparents pick the kids up. So what we'll do is the first phase will have Punjabi and English for the first parents and grandparents. And in the second phase, probably about 6-7 o'clock, when the parents do come home from work, we'll do a second phase as well, a parents' evening. So once that works well, we'll use the same footprint to different schools, not just Sikhi schools, to non-Sikhi schools as well. Because at the end of the day, we're not just there to protect our own. We see every child as our daughters, as our sons. At the end of the day, it's humanity at the end. So, you know, we're here to protect all. We're here to serve the community.
So we've got a couple of minutes left. I guess I'd like to really finish on, you know, what the final message is. What would you like to say? Because this is your chance really to say what you would like to say to the Sangat watching, to get that support, help, you know, whatever it is.
A few things. Please, you know, follow us on our social media. Please come and volunteer. You know where we're going to be at the stalls. Come and volunteer. We are looking for volunteers because we've got so many projects going on. We're urging for volunteers and kids. Bring your kids. Look, you've heard some of the scenarios where Benji-san, some of the examples I gave. You know, get into the right Sangat. That's what it's all about.
And the social media, if you could give those details again, because somebody could have just joined it.
So Nishkam S.W.A.T Youth is our social media for Facebook and Instagram.
Okay. And once again, Sangaji, next week, Ojeda Smagam Hega, 2nd of June. If this year you didn't catch the details, make sure that you go on social media to find out the details. Please do attend and spread the word to your family and friends as well. But, you know, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for 3 of you coming on, sharing your stories, and we hope to get you back on in the future. And I'd just like to finish on, Sangaji, this is Sonia Saga Ajasi Galabata Kitia, on the Voice Project, the grooming, but on many other things that this organisation are helping with for our young children. So please, my benti is let's come together as a family, as a parvar. Let's try to do one thing to make that difference, because if we want to see a difference in society, then we need to be that change. Please come forward, support organisations as S.W.A.T Youth Club, get involved. If there's anything that you didn't quite catch in this interview, any of the details, then you can always give Birmingham a call on 0121 380 1050. I wish you all a very good week ahead. If sadito koi galtiyan hai pulla chokani mafi. Stay in Chadikala. God bless you. Join us next week where we'll be having some more inspirational guests here with us. Vai Guji Ka Khalsa, Vai Guji Ki Fateh.